Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this reading, I am doing a reading for the Scorpio personality for the week ahead from Monday the 15th of April for the whole week. So I'm going to be looking at the energies that are coming up, general themes that are coming up for you guys, the potential challenges, things to look forward to, and how to navigate these energies. So I've already pulled the cards. I'm using the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. Because I love this deck and it uses astrology with the deck and I just really like that. And I do just want to say actually before I begin, your reading was quite interesting because it was a very jumpy deck and a few came out like for each one. So I've actually got more cards here for you than I normally do for this kind of reading, but it really felt like they wanted to come out. So that's interesting. So there's a lot, when it's jumpy, I often feel like it's very active, like it's an active week. And by looking at the cards, I'm like, yes, it definitely is. So straight off the bat, like you've got a lot coming, which is exciting and cool and interesting. And I love it. And yeah, okay, so let me show you them. I won't tease you any further. So the first card we have got is the Wheel of Fortune. So looking at that, seeing what comes through intuitively for you. I always think it's important that you take what you get from it as well. We are all intuitive beings. And then we've got Two of Discs, Change. Okay, again, just having a look at that. And then this was one of them that came out, like two came out together, like they jumped out. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take both. So we've got Knight of Wands, and we've got Ten of Cups, Satiety. Okay, so straight off the bat, what's really interesting to me is that we've got two cards that are Jupiter cards. This came up for another reading that I did as well, like lots of Jupiter energy. Like so, Jupiter is the planet of abundance, it's the planet of plenty, it's the planet of joy, jovial, optimism, like, but the downside, I don't want to say it as like a negative exactly, but like there's always a shadow side, is that it's a lot, right? Like, yes, we can want all of the things and sometimes it's like, whoa, like this is so much. So I think like when there's lots of Jupiter energy, you're going to be dealing with a lot of things, even if it's good, right? That can be sort of hard as well in its own way. So let's start with the Wheel of Fortune. So as a main theme, like I feel like this is the biggest one, to be honest. I mean, all of them are important, obviously, but this is jumping out a lot to me. That things are changing, right? Wheel of Fortune, good things are coming, like things are changing, and then literally we have the next card is change, right? And it's also like wheel, like they're not wheels, but they give that sort of, you know, circular, like things are moving, things are changing. And it's change that sometimes Wheel of Fortune is like things are changing, not necessarily for like the quote unquote good. I don't think things are really good and bad. I think that they are what they are, but it feels like with this reading, this is a change that you've been wanting, that you've been wishing for, that you've been trying to manifest. And it's really starting to come into fruition now. Like you've been working hard at something and you're really starting to see the fruits of your labor and things are starting to shift and change quite rapidly because we've got Knight of Wands here. Like Knight of Wands, like I always think like this card always makes me think of leap, like he's leaping in the air. Like there's a leap, like you're like quantum leaping or something this week. Like this, it's really significant and big actually. But yeah, it's change that you've wanted for some time, but it might feel like a lot. Like sometimes we want things and then when they come, we're like, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for that. Like, whoa. You are ready. It's just, it might feel, like I keep saying, it might feel like a lot. Yeah, and with it being also, you've got here Jupiter. So this card here speaks of Jupiter in Capricorn. So Capricorn is the sign that is very governed by organization, structures, systems, rules the 10th house in astrology. So the career. So it feels like it's career related for some of you. Definitely, actually. And there's going to be a need for systems to be put in place to help you manage all of this stuff coming in. So I feel like that's going to be a theme for this week of like, in order to like be set up for all this new stuff. You're going to build some structures in your life to help that happen. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit overwhelming, and it's going to feel like, because this card also speaks of like juggling many, like spinning many plates or juggling balls, and like I always get the visual like of someone actually juggling balls, and if you're not sort of prepared for it, then balls are going to drop, and it's going to be a bit like, this is a bit much. So there is something here of like needing to, like help yourself so that you don't get overwhelmed by all of this. That's what it feels like. There could be a feeling of overwhelm, even though it's not all overwhelmed, but there could be a bit of that, if that makes sense, because I think that you really do want this. And we've also got 10 of Cups, right? So 10 of Cups really speaks of like that it's the happy families card. It's like everything like coming together, everything's sort of working out. It's at the end, it's a 10. So there's a sense of like satisfaction here, right? Satiety. However, it's interesting because then the question I asked next was, what are the potential challenges for the Scorpio personality? And the card came through. It's another Jupiter card. So much Jupiter. 6 of Wands, Victory. So I feel like with this being a challenge, it might feel like it's hard for you to really trust that what is happening for you is like real or something. Like it's maybe hard to sort of celebrate or feel victorious about this, because it's like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? Like, pinch me. Is this really going on? Like, there might be a feeling here of like, it's hard to sort of trust all of this abundance that's coming in. Like, again, like what I'm really getting is that sometimes we say we want, £1 million or whatever, like we say we want all this stuff, but then when we get it, it's like, actually, I don't know if I have the capacity to like hold all of this good stuff. And it might be that you're finding it hard to sort of really feel how good things actually are. And then I'll be honest, I wasn't entirely sure why this card came through. So I asked for another card just to sort of help explain that a little bit. And here we've got the Emperor. So I feel like the Emperor is sort of, in this context, it feels like maybe you're quite hard on yourself sometimes. So it's maybe hard for you to feel the joy of all of that is coming through, because you're like, no, I need to keep working. And I don't know, like there's something here. There's more for that. Like, let me come back to that. Okay. So the next question I asked was, what is the best part about this week? And here we've got 8 of Discs, Prudence. So I think in this context, because we're talking about what is the best part, it feels like the 8 of Discs is a very hard-working card, right? Like it's Sun in Virgo. Virgo is very diligent. Virgo is very focuses on the details, like does the sort of chips away day to day and does all of the daily habits, like, and is in devotion to something for like a long period of time. So it's very hard-working sign. And I mean, Earth often is, Capricorn is as well. So it feels like your hard work is really paying off, which is very much like what the general energies are coming up, like saying the same thing of like, now things are changing, now things are happening, now things are coming into fruition. And it's asking quite a lot of you, but your hard work has really paid off. And it's about trying as much as you can to celebrate and enjoy that, because I do feel like Wheel of Fortune is also like a celebratory card as well. And with the challenge being like, it's going to be maybe hard to feel victorious. It's like the energy is really asking you to be like, be proud of yourself, like look back at how far you've come and be like so proud of the person that you are becoming now. And then we've also got the next question I asked was, what is the guidance for Scorpio personality? And we've got here the Star. So this card always speaks to me of like being very optimistic and hopeful. It's ruled by Aquarius. We can see at the bottom there, the Aquarius glyph. And Aquarius is good at sort of like balancing like logic, like head and heart. So like with it being a guidance question, there might be something here of like balancing like the head and the heart and like being logical in your decisions. But I feel like it's more like remaining hopeful and optimistic, rather than sort of doubting that this is really working out for you in some way. Does that make sense? Because you have worked really hard and you do deserve this. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like you've done the work and now it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, this has worked so hard at like pruning the tree and like taking care of things and working diligently, and now it's like you've got time to enjoy it and to put systems in place to help you so that you don't get overwhelmed by all of this stuff coming in and all of this change that you have wanted. But the expression that's coming to my mind is like new levels, new devils. So when you reach a new place, it's like you have new problems. So we have an 1111 was on the screen as I said that. Okay, so that feels important. So yeah, like we need to be prepared for whatever is coming ahead. Because when you reach a new point, you have new problems that you haven't had to deal with before. Right? Let's say you had like a new relationship that you wanted, although it doesn't feel particularly like a new relationship on this basis. But just as an example, it doesn't have to be actually what's happened, but more as an example of the energy. So let's say you have a new relationship and it's like you've called in someone that you really want and they're like, your soul like mate and all that stuff. But then you might have to be like, oh no, like I have to be vulnerable now and I have to like, let them in, and I haven't had to do that before. And this is like a whole new learning curve. So yes, you really wanted that person to come in and all of this lovely stuff. It's like, but you now have to sort of open yourself up more and like be more open to love, and that could be quite vulnerable and that might feel a bit scary. So it's about sort of being more prepared for that stuff coming, because I think that whenever we think about the stuff that we want, we think about all the good stuff, right? And we think, like I say, good stuff, but we forget that it comes with its own unique challenges that we haven't had to deal with before necessarily, and being more prepared for those things. Or if it's like a new job or something, it's like suddenly you have more responsibilities and you maybe didn't have so many before, and that might feel a bit overwhelming. So that kind of a thing feels like that's important in terms of the guidance, but it's staying like remembering why you did this. Like I do feel like with it being the star here in terms of the guidance, it's like remembering the bigger picture. Sorry, my leg's going numb. Oh, that's better. Remembering the bigger picture and like why you did all this in the first place, not getting bogged down in the details, because this card can sometimes speak to like getting too caught in the details. And yeah, remembering the bigger picture and like zooming out, getting a higher perspective on things. And also actually what's coming through, because with it being Aquarius card, Aquarius is a sign of like collaboration and being quite sociable and justice oriented. So there's something maybe here as well of like collaborating with other people. It might be professional, but it might also just be like your friends and who you're around, and like having a support network to navigate some of these changes that you're really going through right now, so that it feels easier and smoother. And that could be one of the things in terms of like building in those structures. It's like, okay, I want more friends and support network, so I'm going to like find more people. I'm going to go out and do that. I'm going to like prioritize my relationships a little bit more. Again, just an example. Might not manifest exactly like that, but you get the idea with the sort of energy it's speaking of here. Okie dokie. So I'm going to come on to the next part now, which is just some more cards. I'm going to use oracle cards to get some more guidance. I'm going to use the Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell, just to get a little bit more guidance for Scorpio personality in terms of how to navigate these energies. And what else wants to come through for you? Such a nice reading, though. Lovely. All right, take that. Ooh, hello. God, this card comes out all the time at the moment. One more card, please. Just feel like a 3-card thing. Ah, yeah. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck as well, because that very much, yeah, feels like for you guys. Okay, so we have got here, Acacia, your guidance is divinely guided. Having a look at that, seeing what comes through for you. Yeah, so this to me, this card speaks very much of like trusting your intuition, trusting where you're being led, not veering off the path, not letting self-doubt get in the way. Wherever the nudges of your soul are calling you towards, that's where you need to go. Like, listen to the next step. You're being divinely guided. This is where you're supposed to be going. Okay. Also, something that's really jumping out to me in terms of the artwork on this card is like, if you look there, it's like really light colors, and it's like she's left this behind and she's had to go through some trials, but now she's like coming towards this like white light. It's because she's trusted where she's being led, right? And she's left this behind. And maybe that's been hard at certain points, but we have to, sometimes trusting our inner guidance isn't always easy, right? It's easy to say it. It's easy to be like, yeah, just trust it. And it's like, that's why it requires trust. Trust is, especially for Scorpios, can be quite hard, right? But you will be rewarded for doing that, even if it's challenging sometimes to do that. So let's say, for example, like, you know, your inner guidance is sort of saying like, I need to step away from this job. Your human self might be like, yeah, but I need money, I need this, I need that. And it's like, but the inner guidance is like, yeah, but it's not for your highest purpose anymore. And we have to like trust that rather than ignore it. Okay. And then we've got Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Or Mother, whatever. No, I'm joking. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So yeah, this feels like the same kind of message that came through with this Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn's about structures, about like planting seeds. I always think Capricorn is very like planting seeds for the long term. So there is something here about like, yeah, creating the strong foundation. And then we've got divine plan again, like your guidance is divinely guided. You're on the path, you're in that like divine plan. And then we have got transformation. Not a surprise at all, right? Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Yeah, so like wheels of fortune, things are changing, you're transforming, you're becoming. And it can feel, again, like it gives me the visual of a like butterfly, you know, like everyone's probably heard this before, but you know, like the caterpillar going into cocoon and it's all gooey, and then when it comes out it's like breaking out of its like cocoon and it's sticky and it's messy, but like but it's going to be really beautiful. Like, yeah, it's going to be this woman here, like she's got to get out of the goo first to get here. And it is about really trusting where you're being led now, and just really listening, going inward, listening to your heart, listening to the logic as well of like, is this actually viable? Is this something I can do? But yeah, like following your soul's calling. And then this one jumped out as me as well, which came up in the last reading for Libras actually. Pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So again, it's just this trust, like your vibration is rising. You are shedding the old, transforming, shedding. It's like, I'm surprised the death card didn't come up actually. But you are changing and your vibration is rising. And that's why all this new is coming in, because when our vibration changes, then our physical external reality changes, right? We are the radio like frequency. What is it? Like, we are like the radio, and we can tune our own channel. So it's like whenever we change channels, then we become like a different frequency, right? So we are now changing that frequency, and that's going to create new music. It's like when you change the this analogy might be falling apart a little bit, but I'll do my best. So when you change the frequency in the radio, it might start playing like Latin music, or it might start playing rock music or whatever, but you being the dial and changing things, like as in that's you're going to get new music coming in. So that's why things are changing, and that is, I think, very much what this card is speaking of, is that your vibration is shifting, which is going to allow more abundance to come in, because we have to be a vibrational match for that abundance to come in, if that makes sense. And it's happening. You're doing it. It's awesome. I love it. Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right, so I think that's everything for Scorpios. Thank you so much for watching and taking your time and attention to watch this video. I really, really appreciate your energy. If you have liked this, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be posting more and more videos like this. So if you are enjoying this content, that's the best way to keep following my work. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.